love on the teachers in your life. I promise you they need it. They are doing this because it's what they love, because it's definitely not for the money. Hi, my name is Candace, aka Picasso baby, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create your very own teacher's chalkboard. Welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for stopping back by to paint with me today. So as you all know, it is back to school time, and if you're down south, your kids were in school almost a month ago, but if you're up north or in the Midwest, then your kids are just starting back this week or possibly next week. So what I want to be showing you today is the perfect painting for the teacher in your life, or if you are a teacher, this will be perfect for your classroom. But before we get started, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so that you do not miss the next tutorial. So before we get started, I'm going to go over everything that I'm going to be using in this tutorial. As always, I am using a 16 by 20 inch canvas. Remember, you can use the canvas size of your choice. I am also working with some different size brushes. You can get any sizes that you would like. You also want to make sure that you have a rag or some paper towel to dry your brushes off on, and then a cup with cold water. And I am working with acrylic paint. I'm using the colors bright red, titanium white, chrome yellow, phthalo blue, burnt sienna, and Mars black. And everything is listed in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be showing you how to create a super fun and cute painting that, again, you can give to your kids' teachers, that you can give to the teacher friend or the teacher in your life, or if you are a teacher, you can create this for your very own classroom. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to start off with my biggest brush, and I am going to take some of my yellow and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of my burnt sienna. So right on my plate, I'm just going to mix those two together, because I want to make my yellow a little bit deeper so that I can make the color of a ruler. If you like your yellow as is, you can use it as is, but I just want mine to be a little bit deeper. And what I'm going to do is right at the top, I'm going to pull a line across. And you can decide how wide you want your ruler to be, but it's pretty much going to be the border of my painting. And I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. I'm going to pull a line across. And once you get those lines on there, you just want to fill everything above and then below the line. You want to get those filled in. The center area I'm going to leave open for now. These little borders are going to act as our rulers. Now the center is going to be our chalkboard. So you can do the center black, or you can do it a darker green like I'm going to be doing. So on my plate, where I had that yellow mixed up, I'm going to add in some blue, and I'm going to add in a little bit of black. Or remember, you can use the black as is if you want a black chalkboard. But I am just mixing up a darker green by adding some blue to my brown and yellow mixture, and also adding in a little bit of black just to darken it up. Now once you've got that color you want, you're going to fill your board in. Now I am going to make sure that I overlap my yellow just a bit so that I get a really nice line going. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Make sure you overlap your yellow just a bit. Now, I'm going to get everything that's still white, I'm going to get it filled in with my green. All right, now once you have the entire background filled in. Before we can add anything else, we do have to let this dry. So remember, you can always give yourself a 15-minute drying break and let it dry on its own, or you can grab a blow dryer and blow dry it on the cool setting if you don't feel like waiting, but you just want to give it a few minutes, and then we'll start back on the next step together in just a few.
3 days later.
All right, so now that our canvases are completely dry, we're gonna go in and start to add some details onto our chalkboards. So the first thing I wanna add is I wanna add some books. Of course, I'm gonna add some books because it's school, it's for a teacher, or for yourself if you're a teacher. So I'm gonna use a few different colors. Remember, you can use the colors of your choice. The first one I'm gonna use is, I'm gonna make a red book, and I am using a medium round brush. You can keep using your bigger brush if you're comfortable with it. Just make sure to wash it out really well and dry it. But I switched to a medium round brush. And on my plate, I'm gonna mix up a little bit of white with some of my red. I wanna lighten it up just a bit. I don't wanna make it like super pink. Keep in mind, the more white you add, the more pink your red is gonna become. So if you do want pink, then feel free to add more white. I just wanna lighten it just a bit. And all I'm gonna do is from the side here, I am just gonna pull a line over. That's gonna be the height of my book, and then I'm gonna pull a line down. And I'm doing this right on my chalkboard. I'm not gonna take it down on top of my ruler, just only on the chalkboard. And I'm gonna get that filled in. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of white on my brush, and I'm just gonna pull a line down like that. And it'll blend in with your paint, that's completely fine. The next color I'm gonna do is I wanna do a purple book. So I'm gonna take a little bit of blue and mix it right with my red and white mixture. I'm also gonna add a little more white to lighten it up. So I'm mixing red, white, and blue to make my purple. And I'm gonna make a purple book right next to my red one. I'm gonna take it up just a bit more. Pull a line over. And you can make these books as wide, as tall, or as short as you would like. It's completely up to you. And I'm gonna get it filled in. Alright, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to take a little bit of white. This time I'm going to pull a quick little line across the top there, and then I'm going to also pull a line down at the side. Now you can wash your brush before you do the next color. I'm actually not going to wash mine. All I'm going to do is take a nice little scoop of blue and mix it with some white, because now I want a lighter blue book. And again, you can wash your brush off. Just make sure you dry it really well before you pick up your next color. And now I'm going to make one more book. And then I'm just going to fill that in. And I'm going to do that little white detail one more time. So I'm picking up a little bit of white, and I am going to curve from the top and pull it down. All right. Now, once you've done that part, I'm going to let my books dry before I actually add any letters on them. While that's drying, I'm going to wash my brush off, and I'm going to add some words right on my chalkboard. So you want to make sure to wash your brush out really good. And of course, if you want to use actual colors, you can, because of course there's colored chalk. I am going to use white for traditional white chalk. And what you're going to do with this part, you can do a few different things. You can write the subject that you like, or you can save that and write it on the books. You can write the school year, you can write class of such and such, class of 2024, or you can write the teacher's name, or if you are the teacher, you can write your name. So I'm going to do the teacher's name. And I am just going to use my last name. So I'm using white, and I just want to do this. I don't want it to be perfect because I want it to look like I was writing this with chalk. All right. And then right underneath, I am going to add my last name. My actual last name is Dove. One thing I'm also going to do, because this is my chalkboard and I'm using my rulers as kind of like the ledge, I'm going to actually make a little piece of chalk right underneath here. I'm going to put a little broken piece right here too. All right. Now, while we give that a second to dry and let the books dry, I'm going to go into my ruler. So for my ruler, I'm going to be using my smallest brush and a little bit of black paint to add my little number marks on there, to add my little inches. And the first thing I want to do is I want to outline the bottom of each ruler. So the bottom of this one and the top of that one there. And I'm doing that with just black paint. All right, now as far as the markings, I am going to make 12 different marks. And I'm going to leave space in between each one. And now I'm going to go in between each mark and make some really little marks. You can make this as accurate as you'd like. I'm just doing like 3 or 4 little marks in between. If you want to make it super accurate, feel free to do so. For the bottom one, I am going to, you can either pull the lines up from the bottom or you can pull it from this line here. I'm going to pull it from the bottom. So I'm going to make those 12 marks again. And then I am going to make the small marks in between each bigger mark. So remember, you don't want them to be as tall as the bigger marks, and you can do about 3 or 4, or if you want to be super accurate, feel free to do as many or as few as you like. Now I'm going to go back in and add the numbers. If you don't want the numbers, you can leave it as is. It looks great just how it is, but you can always go back in and add the numbers at the bigger dashes. So I'm going to go back in and add it underneath. I'm going to do the same thing here, except I'm doing them on top of my little dashes. All right, now once you have your rulers designed, if you want to add anything extra, feel free to make it your own and really personalize it how you want. But now I'm going to go back into my books. Now for the books, if you're doing this, again, for your classroom or the teacher in your life, you can add their subjects. Again, you can add the year. You can add so many different things to really make it more personal. But I'm just going to add a few different subjects. For the subjects, you can spell it going straight down or you can write it to the side. And I'm going to show you how both will look. So for example, if I decide to write it to the side, I am going to write math on this book. And I'm just using black paint. You can use whatever color you like. I'm still using my smallest brush though. So if you decide to write it to the side, that's how it will look. If you decide to write it going down, here's what it will look like. I'm going to write history on this one. And I'm gonna also do one, of course, I have to do one that says art. And I'm gonna write this one going down as well. And I'm gonna add a little bit of extra detail by adding some white to my brush and just going in and adding some white on each letter, just to give it a little bit of a highlight. If you want to do that with a different color, feel free to do so. Or if you like it with just the black, you can leave it as is. Now, if there are any extra details that you would like to add on your teacher board or on your chalkboard, feel free to do whatever you like to really make it your own. But the last thing you want to do is just simply sign in your name. Now, if you made this for someone else, you can use your smallest brush and sign the back of your canvas, or you can sign it right in the corner. But if you already added your own name onto it, no need to sign it. Everyone knows it's yours, and you now have your very own teacher's chalkboard. Thank you all so much for painting with me today. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and I hope you all have an amazing school year and that your children have an amazing school year. If you are a teacher, I'm sending you all my love. I hope you have a really good school year. And to the parents, make sure you are loving on your kids' teachers. If you have a teacher in your life but you don't have children, love on the teachers in your life. I promise you they need it. They are doing this because it's what they love, because it's definitely not for the money. So make sure that you are loving on the teachers in your life this school year. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. And I will see you in the next tutorial.